Hello. Welcome to the updated version of the beginner's competitive guide for Metroid Prime Randos. My name is Vpron and I have almost 5 years of experience playing Prime Randos. I'm gonna try to put as much knowledge into this guide as I can, so you can start racing like a pro. Just a little disclaimer, this is not a speedrun guide, nor is it a setup guide for Randos. I will also not go in depth how tricks work. For that, I will link you the beginner's movement guide in the video description. This video will focus on 3 core topics. Those are routing, logic/logic reading, and movement. Understanding and being able to use all 3 of those core principles makes a difference between a good and a great runner. First of all, I will talk about these 3 topics in depth, and after that I will play a seed with beginner/tournament settings to show how I'll route my seeds. I have also put timestamps in the description for each part of the video if you feel like you only need certain topics explained more deeply. Alright then, let's jump right into the first topic. Alright then, let's start off with routing. Metroid Prime is a Metroidvania. While many games give you a set path, Prime is far from linear. You start off in an open world scattered with upgrades, and as you collect these, you will often have to backtrack to previous locations to get even more. In Rando, routing out backtracking will be one of your most important time saves. Choosing the route with the most items on the way is usually the best play you can make, because the more items a route has, the more likely it is to run into a major upgrade. Taking routes with less items has a higher chance of having no progression at all. You usually want to save routing in areas with less items to the very end, but be aware that logic might want you to branch off your current route, which brings us to the next topic. Logic and logic reading is probably the most complicated topic out of them all, but I'll try my best to explain this without causing you too much confusion. Most randomizers have item logic, and Randovania is no exception. The item logic of your seed is determined by the preset you are using. Usually weeklies and tournaments use beginner presets with a small amount of beginner tricks and logic. The items you're obtaining throughout the seed follow the item logic. So for example, if you get the X-ray visor, space jump, and grapple throughout the early game, the item logic might hint you towards Root Cave, since those 3 items are required logically to climb that very route. However, that doesn't guarantee that the location will have a major upgrade. It's still a randomizer. But this is the basic explanation of how item logic works. Reading the string of logic can be very powerful, but keeping track of it is not so easy, since the logic web gets bigger and bigger with each upgrade you get. The order in which you collect your major upgrades is also something you should look out for, but this is better explained in the seed I will play later in the video. So, now how do you implement this into your runs? Well, for that, playing many seeds and taking a look into Randovania's database is a good start. The expected tricks in your preset can be viewed in Randovania when you are editing your preset. Move the sliders for each category to your desired level, and click the question mark next to it to see all the tricks that are required for that level, and only that level. So for example, checking advanced slopes won't show you the beginner and intermediate levels for slope jumps. You can also click Open Metroid Prime, Trick Details, Trick Category, and then Trick Level in Randovania. I should also mention that out of logic plays can be extremely rewarding. Getting an upgrade out of logic can give you intel on the upgrade that was logically required for the one you just got. But be aware that going too far out of logic may result in a time loss, because you might be skipping a very important major upgrade. So if you have the required movement skills to get some items quickly out of logic, you should go for it. This will help you to greatly minimize backtracking. Lastly, since you are racing someone, moving fast is very important. This may sound pretty obvious, but while knowledge is a big part in racing randos, fast movement is most definitely as important. Throughout the seed I will play, I'll show off fast threats to get items, but I will not be able to go over all of them. If you want to learn even more strats that I did not show off, or maybe even faster stuff, I recommend joining the Prime 1 speedrunning Discord. They have everything you could wish for, and an invite link is in the description. For consistency, I have two things to say: practice and play often. Casual racing is a great way to improve your skills. This will help you become more confident with your movement. Prime 1 is a platform, and falling down in multiple rooms like Root Cave for example, or Frozen Pike, it can cost you a lot of time. So boot up a seat and play. The more you play, the better you get. So, with the theory out of the way, let's jump right into a seat using beginner logic and show off everything I talked about in action. And there we are. Welcome to the I play a seed portion of the video. So there we have our seed hash, Reaper, Farthest, Glider. As previously mentioned, I will go over how I write my seeds, how you can read strings of logic. I'm also gonna showcase some tricks, gonna explain some, not too deeply. Gonna show you fast threads for as much items as I possibly can. I would say without further ado, let's jump right into this. So as I said, this is beginner logic. More specifically, this is the odd weekly preset with a small amount of beginner tricks and logic. So at the very beginning, we're gonna do space jump first. It's a very easy check to make once you get comfortable with dashing in general, and we get rewarded with space jump. That's very good. Also, vanilla space jump is very funny. I'm not even gonna lie. Right now, we're gonna make our way over to early Chozo. And we can do some dashes too. Whoops, I hold it back a little bit too much. I'm just gonna do some B hops. Alright, now we come to early Chozo routing. You can use the cutscene to determine what the first item over there is. It is a missile expansion. So we'll get that right off the bat with some couple R jumps. Alternatively, if you don't feel like you're good enough to do those, you can alternatively position yourself over here, get the scan point, and dash over to the item. Important is, if you dash from the bridge, you need to hold it back a little bit. So you have to strafe back. Otherwise, we just hit the wall. Gonna have a second missile expansion over here. Artifact over here. Alright. Are we gonna check walls real quick? We're not able to get it, but since the door's unlocked in Rando, we can check. And that is a missile expansion as well. By the way, since the missile expansion on Grapple Edge in Main Plaza was a missile launcher, means that Hive Mecha is probably gonna have Grapple Beam. Grapple Beam, or more like, it's either Grapple Beam itself, or it's the item that gives us access to grapple beam. So it's one of those. Okay. More item checks. More missiles. Never have enough missiles, especially in the early game. Alright, and yeah, as expected, there's the grapple beam. So we were expected to go here first to get the grapple, and then we're expected to grapple from the tree towards the missile launcher. But since we already got our missiles, we don't need to come back here. And we also checked vaults, so the only item we have to come back is here in this room. So we didn't have bombs and morph ball. We weren't able to check this item. So if Ruined Shrine doesn't have anything, that means the next progression is gonna be Talon. Then I'm gonna check that in a second. Just be aware that running into scarabs is, yeah, quite dangerous. And you should not be as you should not be as reckless as I do. You can take this video as a reference, but do not be as reckless as me. Reckless equals fast in some cases, but sometimes it just equals into death. And we try to avoid that as much as we can. Some B-hops. If you're comfortable with those, you can B-hop through the hallways. So now we're gonna return over to Chozo. Chozo, I meant Talon. Alright, since we have space jump now, we can theoretically already go for Root Cave. And that's exactly what we're gonna do. Check the bottom of Root Cave first. Okay, we have another missile. Maybe we should not mess up fast climb. Grapple beam to get over there. You can alternatively also do a dash. I will show this off in a second. So now we don't actually need X-ray to get those platforms. We can alternatively just track them down with power beam, or you can jump towards the second one and do an R jump. Just skip the third platform on the second level. You can just like this E-tank right here. And now we could also go for this out of bounds, but I will not until I have my morph ball, because I'm not comfortable doing it without morph ball and bombs. So you can alternatively lock onto this little fellow over here and dash towards the thing. Important to note is that when you do that dash, you need to hold forward a bit, because if you don't, you're gonna bonk into this root. And you don't want to bonk on this root because it makes you fall down. I'm gonna show off the Arbor Chamber out of bounds as soon as I get my hands on bombs and morph ball. Something tells me we will not see both right now, so we only have one more location to check, and that was not good. Yeah, to get this, get to this floor faster, you can use this slope to slope jump towards the corner. That. Yeah, now we're just gonna go and check artifact hints. By the way, look at this. There's a random GG on the door for some reason. Oh, super missiles. Okay. That is an interesting find. Alright, now, since we already have one artifact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, what you can do is read them immediately and write the hints down. Or, that's how I do it. I do not read hints until I have most of my upgrades. So, if I have access to like Wave Beam and Ice Beam, that's like the point where I start reading hints. Because before that, I don't read them because I like know that without like at least Wave and Ice, I won't be able to access most of them if they're scattered throughout the world. It's also better to read them when you already have a couple artifacts. But yeah, not needing to read them immediately will save you some time. And when you're actually deciding to do artifact cleanup, that's the point where you want to read them anyway, and then like you don't need to write them down since you're focused on it anyway. So they're like, it really matters on the person how they handle it, but I myself handle it this way. Alright, just a little thing here. You can check the tree item by lining up with this corner, holding L and jumping. And that's our mobile. Very nice. So we already checked what was over there. So we're gonna go our ways and go deeper to Chozo. Right, gonna miss over here. By the way, for everyone not knowing, rolling is always faster than jumping or walking. So keep that in mind if you wanna be as fast as you can, with little effort. Rolling's always the fastest method. So before we go into Watery Hall, even if I don't have Morphle Bombs, checking the item on top of Gathering Hall is always the better play, because if Spider Ball is there, you want to collect that one first before you check Dynamo, for example, so it's important to note. So I am expecting a Varia or maybe Bombs over here. And we have an Ice Spreader, okay. Might as well collect that. It's right there. You can now go for an early check on this item. This is not a logic, but it could benefit you. In this case, I show him the slope jump for this. Use this as a slope and do a underwater slope jump. This can be handy if there's a required item that like expect you to have gravity and Flora defeated later on, so you can skip both of these things. So we have two options now. Option number 1, we have vanilla bombs. Option number 2 would be our bombs are frigate crash site. Since we have grapple, it could be in frigate crash site. So I would say we'll check frigate crash site first. Zoid is a point of no return check, so if you head there and there are no bombs, that's an automatic time loss and you have to reset. So we don't want that. I'm gonna check friggin' crash site first, and if it doesn't have it, then Zoid is the only last spot that bombs could be there. Can now easily use Grapple Beam to do this by aligning yourself with this route right here. And it's Varric. Okay. That gives us quite some options. Also, you can alternatively use a slope right here, this slope, to underwater slope jump towards the item. You can even do it NSJ, just like I did. Or you can alternatively also go for a dash. You can just align yourself like that, do a dash, and get the item. That's also possible. And that dash also works with that space jump, so yeah, you can do that. Okay, now we're gonna go our way to Magmore, since we just opened up that. So this is a very back and forth heavy seat, so this seat wants you to go back and forth very often. But as you can already see, the decision to not go for no point return check was beneficial in this case. Since the only thing that could have happened returning to Talon, that friggin' crash site had nothing, like no progression at all. But we could still have returned over to Zoid to check if he has progression. So, yeah, we greatly reduced the time loss in this very scenario. And now we can just go over to Magmore. We can just jump from lava here. If you're very concerned about health, you can just like use Morph Ball and get over more safely. You can get this item without bombs, by the way. Just use some Standables. Get this item. Oops. Oh, what was that? Flamethrower, okay. We're getting all the beam combos here. Now, we can do a quick line for monitor station here real quick. Without getting bothered by these hurts. That hurts. Go away. Yeah, the thing is, we could have also entered Magmore from Shozo, but that only gives us one check. Alright, we have the Wave Beam. We have the Wave Beam. Now, we're gonna check what's over here in Triclops Pit. The Wave Beam was not a logic, by the way, so still expected us to have usable for this. And there are bombs. That was to be expected. So X-Ray can be far away. X-Ray cannot be far away from here now. Because X-Ray is logically required to get this item because of the invisible platforms. So what do we have here? That's a missile. Alright, so what I'm suspecting now is that I almost think that X-Ray is in Lava Lake. So, we have two decisions now. We can check the rest of early Chozo. That means Zoid. Zoid is 2 checks. Plus Dynamo is 1 more check. But I think, depending on what the next item is, we're gonna go back over to okay, so oops. This is a difficult decision now. Early Fen could have progression, but early Chozo can do as well. So what we're gonna do now is look at our artifacts. We have 1 in Fen Shorelines, in Workstation, Control Tower, Crossway, Research Lab Ether. So we have more artifacts in Fen than we have in Chozo. So my decision is to go to Fen first. All the artifacts are on the front path of Fen and labs, so we don't need Ice Beam to access them. So what we're gonna do now is go to Fen, because Fen has more artifacts. We're gonna collect the artifacts, and the best case scenario would be we get either. By the way, I think I missed Thermal. Yeah, Thermal is in Gathering Hall. So we know that Thermal is in Gathering Hall. This means that Farthest could be in Logic as well. So what we're gonna do now? Go to Fen, get the artifacts, and then return. Everything in Fen is Logic. And then we have our Spider. That makes this even better. So now... So, to explain you how I made this decision now. So, both routes had items. Like, a bunch of items. Theoretically, both were equally as, They have both the same potential of having major progression, but the difference in why I made this decision is because of the artifacts in Phendrana. We were closer to Phendrana, there are artifacts in Phendrana, and yeah, progression could be in Phendrana as well. So, I've decided to go to Fen instead of Chozo, and I think it might have paid off already, because there is the Plasma Beam. That means we can get the artifact right off the bat. She really likes us in this scenario. Since we have Plasma, we can also check Chozo Ice Temple as well. So we and Shiga too. Choose Ice Temple Quick Climb, shoot that in advance. So from this point on, the only things we need is Phazon Suit and Ice Beam. Those 2 items are the ones that are keeping us from Go Mode. I guess Boost Bolt would be nice as well, because Ridley. But this seed is a very good example of how you should make your decisions. Because you have many paths you can take, but the path that is like the most efficient one is, in most cases, the better one you can take. And in this case, the artifacts in Fendrana and the fact that I was near to Fendrana helped me in making that decision as well. So... now we're gonna wrap up early parts of Fendrana real quick. Get that artifact over here. Oh, we should probably activate this door. By the way, I'm gonna mention it at the end of the video, but if you have any questions, feel free to hitting me up on Discord. It's vpron #8784. Feel free to send me a request, a friend request, a DM, whatever. Ask me anything. I'm up for casual racing. I'm up for VOD reviewing. I'm gonna try to help beginners as much as possible to get into the scene. That Orphan is done. Check what's over here. We also have a power bomb now. So we can also get power bomb jacks out of the way. Unfortunately, we had to leave the one on the Warrior Shrine, because we didn't have power bombs at that point. And I messed up a dash. Please. But this, French Pollens... I can not quite... Is that a vanilla boost ball? Oh, that is funny. We had 2 vanilla items in this seed. Vanilla boost ball. Let's go. Alright. With that... we only need Phazon Suit and an Ice Beam. An Ice Beam logically cannot be too far away. It can be either like here in Fen, or if it's not here in Fen, somewhere in Labs or so. Then it's probably in Chozo. But like the best case scenario would be that Ice Beam is somewhere in Fen. You can also skip Spider Ball and Boost Ball in this room entirely by just using these 2 standables. And you can jump back at the standable over here. So that's kind of a tough one. We have 2 decisions here. Decision number 1 would be fighting Farthest. Decision number 2 would be Labs. Or both. Like, first Farthest, then Labs. And that's the issue. But, since we have acquired the Plasma Beam, I'd say Farthest is manageable. Since we have Plasma Beam, we can defeat him very, very fast. Just the chance of Farthest having Ice Beam is just so high. Because remember, there was the Wave Beam, the Thermal Visor was in Chozo. So, all of this is in logic. Alright, so we're gonna plant 1 PB in front of him, right of the bed, to get rid of 2 rocks. Now we can lay multiple bombs in front of him to expose his weak point. I think I didn't expose his weak point. Mr. Fortis, you did not cooperate. That's weird. We have some technical difficulties here. I don't quite understand why it... Ah, there we go. For some reason... Yeah, now we can throw it off. That, yeah, now that his weak point is exposed. You can do either one charged plasma shots or one charged plasma shot and one missile. Discord white mode here. If you're skilled enough, you can destroy the weak point while he's rolling at you. Or why did I think this one is very easy to hit while he's rolling? Yeah, that is kind of dangerous. So, if you hit Fortis in a very specific frame window, while he's rolling, you might get insta-rolled. So, just keep out for that. To look for where destroyable block is. That one. The upper one is kind of hard to reach sometimes, so using a missile there is not a bad idea. Since we already used our one singular power bomb at the very beginning of the fight, if you lay a bomb under him, right when the thunder appears, you're gonna destroy the block, ending the fight early on. And since we don't have a PB, we need to resort to just shooting with plasma. And that's it. Yeah, I had some difficulties in this fight. So, everyone, place your bets. What is Fortis gonna guard for me? This has the chance of Ice Beam. So this is the whole reason why I did it. But since we have plasma, okay, it's an E-Tank. But since we have plasma beam, checking it is not that bad of an idea. Now we can here. E-Tanks. Okay, that's fine. But a different thing that I have not told you why I did this is because this helps us to greatly minimize backtracking. Because now we can access workstation. The workstation is an artifact. So we're gonna come inside here, grab the artifact, go back, and go through labs. That's the plan. So we don't need to backtrack over to Magma Workstation later in the seed. We can just grab it right here. Alright, spending time here. A little bit of puzzle. Thank God, Rando removes these cutscenes, so this is a lot faster. Alright, that's our artifact of spring. Triclops trying to troll us. Alright, and now we turn over to Penrana and we start our peek through lab. The best case scenario would be that we get Ice Beam in labs right now. It would be a trolley place for Ice Beam to be in, but it's not as trolly this time around since we have to go to labs anyway. We're gonna check everything labs has for us. And if we do not get the Ice Beam until we are in the very last room of labs, we can just go back to Observatory, use the save station over there to save warp back, and yeah, continue our hunt for Chozo. And by the time we're back in Chozo, we already have the artifacts in Phendrana, which means we can get the Phazon suit in after defeating Ridley. Skip the enemies in this room. So if you're skilled enough, you can just jump on the monitors and skip fighting these pirates. That was almost a myth. Now we're gonna do some series of dashes to get through Observatory a little bit faster. Not get knocked back by the pirates. That's slow. And I fell. Yeah, if you're not comfortable doing the dash method with all those pirates in the rooms, you can just go ahead and defeat them real quick. But I usually skip them. Okay, now we come to control tower. Now we come to control tower. So I have a very basic and easy tip for you. If you have trouble to know when to jump up to skip the trigger, just walk forward slowly, and as soon as the sun shines on your weapon like that, you're easy to jump out. And what you can do is jump over to this metal thing here, shoot the tower from over here, morph, and be able to instantly fall down the hole from here. Alternatively, you can jump onto crates to shoot it earlier, or you can just use the vanilla method. However you want to do it. I think doing it how I did versus the one on the crates is equally as fast if you execute my strat for that perfectly enough. Alright, we get closer and closer to the end of labs. Ether, Research Lab Ether has an artifact for us, so the second item could be Ice Beam. Wait for Edward to do his job. There's the artifact, there's a nothing. Oh, interesting. So you can change those. Sorry that I paused there, but you can actually change the color of your nothings if you pull up the map. You need to collect all those rare nothings. So by scanning the thing for the scanning the thing for the force field, you can predetermine what item it is. So we do not have Ice Beam in labs, but that's not a problem since we already got the artifacts. There's no real reason for us to come back to Fen again. So we can just take our relief here. And we're gonna go away to Observatory, get to the safe station, and safe we're back. We're gonna make our way just to be sure. Like walk around it, like jump around a little bit because the trigger is still there. So now you're just gonna slowly make your way to that door, to that trigger to fight. Because triggering the fight costs you time, and it will change the layers of both Monitor Station and Triclops Pit to be flying pirates, and you don't want that. Bonk the way. And now we can just safe warp back. So, there's a little artifact reminder from me. The only other artifact was in Crossways. So, what we're gonna do now is dashing over here, and we're gonna do the frigate crash site climb to access the Barge Shozo before we go before we do the rest of Run Shozo that we left out earlier. It has some benefits. Benefit number one would be we're skipping the Wave Beam slot in Hall of the Elders completely. Oops. Yeah, we're skipping that completely, and okay, that is a logical error on my side. I completely forgot we don't have Ice Beam. Oopsies. Yeah. Also, yeah, everyone makes these kind of brain farts. They're completely human. Huh. I am very sorry. Yeah, but as I already said, keeping track of everything in Rando is kind of difficult because it gets bigger and bigger the more items you get. Yeah, we'll just not talk about that little brain fart there. Happens to the best of us. If we had Ice Beam, we could have went for that route because that would benefit us with like some easy parts on our side, but it doesn't matter. Our next goal is definitely track down Ice Beam, but it's gonna be somewhere here in Shozo, so can't be somewhere else. The worst thing that could happen right now is that Randovania placed our Phalanx suit in Phasal Mines. So we weren't able to check this location here because we didn't have bombs spent on here to reach this point. can do some dashes to skip this completely. The dashes are not necessary, but they speed up the process, otherwise you can just use some standables. I'm gonna check Tower of Light here very quick, while doing some standable first. Jump at the standable over here, R-jump over to the platform, and then do a series of 2. Or we just fail miserably. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. You can't fall down this room since we have to go for this check as well. So it's not that tragic if you fall down the first time you try to climb the room. Gonna do that again. By the way, we can also check the item by just like doing the puzzle. Because the puzzle will trigger a cutscene that shows you the item on top. I cannot dash today. What is going on? It will just... Wait, you can just go around it? It's interesting, I didn't know that. Well, you learn something new with this game every single day. You can never learn out. Oh my god. Today is not my day. Yeah, so that's what I meant with consistency and issues like vertical rooms. It can cost you a lot of time, especially vertical rooms. Climbing those takes time. And falling down these is just, it's just not cool, because it takes some time to get back up. Okay, now let me get this, dash successfully. There we go. I was about to say. And we get rewarded with a missile. Nice. We just jump back down. Now we're just gonna get a quick trip back to Rune Gallery, because the Rune Gallery also had an item we couldn't check earlier, because we didn't have bombs. And since we already have checked the vault, we don't need to come near to that anymore. The vault is a dead check, we don't need to come back for that. So, was this our ice beam? Nope. Let me slope jump, please. What was that? Okay, we'll just nod. Okay. Movement is not good towards the end of the game. Anyway, we also are able to check magma pool as well. Very nice. It's not very nice since we don't have a PB. I would like a PB. Shirk bets usually have a very high chance of dropping PBs. In this case, we get effed over by a prime drop system. Definitely not the first time that happened to me. We surely get a drop over here. Nope. Well, if you can get a drop, this room right here has a 100% chance of dropping the PB. So this is a minor inconvenience we couldn't really avoid. So we have to come back for magma pool. Also hoping that we run into Phase somewhere. That would be pretty nice. Alright, we're gonna quickly make our way over to Magma Pool again. I don't want to leave this check out. As always, just morph and use a Boost Ball. Boost Ball is the fastest method to travel. It's just a matter of time. Just a matter of time until we run into the Ice Beam. For now, I'm gonna skip both Lara and Zoid as item checks. Because there's still a chance that they're not on one of those two bosses. And if it's really not there on both Lara and Zoid, it saved us time not doing these bosses. And if we don't run into Ice Beam then, we'll just backtrack for it. But we're gonna get the artifact for it, for sure. That's most definitely a thing we should do. And this is also our time where we dip back over here to get our Thermalizer. I'm still kind of confused of where X-Ray is, since our Remarkable Bombs were in Triclops Pit. X-Ray has to be somewhere around as well. I suppose that couldn't be Zoid. Oh wait, did I just say it? Could it be? That's like the thing I'm still a little bit confused about. But that's just a minor inconvenience. I'm gonna do the puzzle. If you feel like you want to do IBBF, you can also do that. Whoops. Imagine if Ice Cream is actually vanilla. Then we had 3 vanilla items in this seed. Boost Ball. Yeah, Boost Ball. What was the other vanilla item? Oh yeah, and Space Gem. This one's eventually here. I'm gonna show you how to get this item more faster. So you slope jump off the furnace, you get understandable, you jump on top of the spider ray, then on the spider ray to your left, then on the top one, and if you have spider, you can just like jump down there and use spider wall to get the item. So that's a method that you can get this item more quickly. Alright, time for the Crossway artifact. With that one, we have all of them. Now we just do some series of L jumps and standables. Then we jump into the corner where the item is and delay our second jump to get into the tunnel. gonna fight ghosts as normal. Now, we're gonna do something I call a cutscene overlapping. We're gonna kill the Chozo Ghost. And as soon as we did that... Oh. Okay. I guess the game said no. But yeah, as soon as we kill the ghost, we're gonna morph immediately. Jump into the morphle slot and trigger it. In that way, both cutscenes overlap, and you don't need. You're not gonna be repositioned. Then you're gonna be repositioned right in front of the statue, ready to launch you towards the door. So I'm very much suspecting a vanilla ice beam. Maybe I have missed something. I mean, that's always a possibility. Even I do mistakes. But as far as I recall, this is the only other option we have for Ice Beam. Vanilla Ice Beam. Oh yeah, and of course, Flogger and Floggers and Zoid are options as well. But I try to avoid them. Oopsies. You can do a slope jump of the Stone Toad here. Wow, would you look at that? This is just amazing. We have 3 vanilla items in one scene. Yeah, but yeah, that's what I meant. Even if that wouldn't have been Ice Beam and I just skipped Zoid and Flogger, there's still a chance that Ice Beam can be on the track. And even if not, then you just go back and defeat those bosses. It's just a minimal time loss. But if I just went ahead and defeated both bosses, I would have had a great time loss, especially for Flogger. So it's better to risk skipping those bosses and defeating them in the aftermath, instead of maybe skipping on a chance to get the item without needing to defeat the bosses at all. So now, yeah, we're able to check over our own cavern. Now we're gonna go to Ridley, get our Phazon suit in, and probably get a trip to Mines. That's probably what's gonna happen. Little save here. By the way, don't be like me and safety save here and there. I do be saving very rarely, so you should not be like me. Just do a safety save if you have the option to do so. It will save you time if you should die or crash or anything like that. Alright, now it's time for the riddles. Riddles, it's not much to save. It's, stay here, use plasma. Maybe get flyby skip, and I'll just wait. You can do whatever you want. You can go around, you can do parkour, you can do this funny thing over here. Right, now, as soon as he jumps, he's on the ground, we're gonna boost in his chest. So if you didn't know, Ridley is weak to boost ball damage, so if we boost it to his chest, he effectively completely skipped his flying phase. Now it's just hitting him, spam missiles. Hitting him, spam missiles. Hitting him, spam missiles. That's very great RNG we have. No attempt at dashing just yet. Wow. That is what your ideal Ridley fight looks like. The game is a bit too loud. Reduce the sound a little bit. Oh yeah, because we don't have gravity or Phalanx suit. The cutscene cringes a bit out. But don't you worry, Samus is okay. Alright, with Ridley out of the way, we have access to the Phalanx suit pin. And the Phalanx suit is in Phazon Mines. Wonderful, wonderful. Oh my god. Of course. So we don't have X-ray just yet. We're gonna try to route an X-ray. We're gonna make our way back over to Talon World now. Now we're just gonna go back to Overgrown Cavern, to Far Chozo. And we're gonna take the elevator over there to, yeah, to the front part of, Talon. So there is a slight risk that Phalanx is either vanilla or it's on PMT, not PMT, PCA. OP requires X-ray, and if we don't find that before we reach him, we might be having a issue. And PCA is also X-ray lock because we need to get rid of OP first. So I'm gonna route in other checks to get over to my precious X-ray. But as I said, those are two checks. Like, the chance is low that it is on OP or PCA. Also, I have to keep in mind, before I fight XO and stuff, I should also show up the Arbor Chamber out of bounds. I promised that one, and I will keep that promise. Don't worry about that. I need to keep in mind that I wanted to show that off. Wouldn't it be funny if we had vanilla X-ray? I mean, come on, how high are the chances? We had 3 vanilla items in this season. How, like, there's like no chance we get vanilla payloads to this well. Life Grove Tunnel being Life Grove Tunnel. Still, I think we skipped X-ray somewhere, but I'm not entirely sure where. Maybe it isn't Fen. Could be in Fen somewhere. We're also gonna soon do something that is called bar skip. So this is still beginner one. Though, since we do not have gravity suit, what I expect to be a fin, it could also be a phase on mine, since we have access to the elevator that leads to phase on processing center. But gravity could be somewhere in it could be somewhere in Rando, and they expected us to go for frigate. But since we know this trick called that bag skip, we're able to skip that. We just gonna get a very precise double bomb jump here to jump over the bars like that. And now we have access to front lines. We can work everything in until we find failures. Best case scenario would be they don't shoot in main quarry. That would be insane. Alright. Something I can show off for main quarry is you can jump towards that little corner there by doing an L jump and pressing L again to reposition you a little bit. I'm gonna just show this off successfully. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that way you skip the trigger for all those pirates and they will never bother you. You're gonna have a chill time in main quarry. And you climb it up very fast. Oh, okay, that's our main PBs. So you can also get this item a little bit faster by slope jumping of this. And or jumping towards this location. Yeah, now we can just... freeze those two. I don't want to mess with them. Don't want to mess with those two. Yeah, he's gonna escape because he likes to be away from us. Gonna return very soon. Very good. It's time for the leaping pirates in his room. Survive. Oh, nice PB drop. Okay, now we're gonna defeat the phase on the leads. Those are pretty easy to defeat, just walk around them. Their eye is very stupid, so you just walk around them, spam missiles, till they're dead. And we get rewarded. I have issues. I always have issues getting right skin for those platforms. I like to get rid of the turrets in this room before I climb, because those turrets can be very unforgiving, and most of the time I just don't want to deal with them, so I just get rid of them right off the bat. And of course, Calvin died poison. So, if we had X-ray, we could actually check the item behind the wall. But since we do not possess it, we need to roll that ball all around. It's not our Phaeton suit, shouldn't we? So in this room again, you can either fight the pirates or not go or go pacifist. But in this case, I messed up my first jump, so it's better off just going for defeating them. If you're fast enough, you can get up there, and they will not bother you again because you're up to the next level. We gotta check what storage B has for us. Yeah, there's really nothing really to say about like the Phaeton suit. The only complication that can come up is Phaeton suit being on OP. It's your only real inconvenience in this situation. Alright, before we go into lower mines, we're gonna check what Phaeton Processing Center has for us. And Phaeton 2 could be there, or X-Ray could be there as well. So it's better checking this first before you go into lower mines, just to save you the time. Second thing you can do is going for the checking what the PPC item is. This could this is it's one less check we need to worry about. So it's literally only OP that might have our Phaeton suit, but I just hope that is not the case. It would be very dumb. Little fast climb over here. Just gonna jump over this spot and miserably fail because I'm trying to be stylish with bunny hops. Bunny hops are great tool movements, but if you're not skilled enough, you can end up in situations like these. E-tank. Since we have Plasma Beam, the elite pirate of the next room is gonna be triggered. Right, this also means we can just go ahead and skip the cloak drone. Doesn't have anything for us. Yeah, in Rando we can just straight up skip the security drones. A cloak drone. I couldn't quite see what is over there. But what you can do for fast rate in a room, you can freeze one of the Metroids and use that Metroid to dash over to this place. This is also how you can just easily skip, yeah, this is how you can more or less easily skip X-ray. Unfortunately, not our bathing suit. Okay, the deeper we go, the more I'm starting to sweat. Because the chance of bathing suit being vanilla is very high at this point. I do not want to get screwed over by that. Okay, there we go. Easy. Alright. Now... the thing is... I think... in this scenario... Yeah, in this scenario, we need to climb some rooms, and then... God, how the Metroids are annoying. Yeah, we need to climb, like, several rooms to get back, and, I think. And we also need to feed the cloak drone. Just gonna go for a quick attempt here. And in that way, I can also show you how I move for lower mines. We have a PMT, by the way. Right. Like, you had two decisions over here. You could go either to, you were able to go to, like, the safe station in Central Dynamo, or, like, the safe station over here. And the one in Central Dynamo is probably faster. But I just want to show you how it is. This room also has a very cool speed tech that, like, everyone uses. Yeah, and with that, we can save war back, and then we're gonna finish this up. Alright, and that actually wraps up all the logical plays thingies you can do, I can tell you about. See to solve, we have everything, we can go to final bosses. In the credits, I want to go over where X-Ray is and how X-Ray actually contributed to the item logic, towards the item logic. I think maybe Space Jump, yeah, I mean, X-Ray should still be on logic if you think about bombs being in Triclops pit. But maybe that's just me, like, misremembering something wrong. Right, now we gotta move our way to the big boy Essence, Exo. You know, I'm gonna see Exo skip from me. I'm not quite talented enough for that yet. Now we're just gonna do phase on core climb. You wanna be fast on this one, since those fish Metroids, they are right on your trail, and they're bloody. They want your blood, and they want to annoy you, and they want you to climb this room a million times, so the faster you are, the less you need to deal with them. so there's nothing much to tell for the first sub-chamber. The first sub-chamber is just shooting pew-pew. If you have the beam combos and enough missiles, you can speed this up. I'm gonna do the super missile. From the charge shot are enough to end the base. Sub-chamber 2 is where action starts. Okay, sub-chamber 2. In this sub-chamber, he will cycle for 3 beams randomly, that being Wave Beam, Power Beam, and Ice Beam. So you never need to like switch over to Plasma for this sub-chamber because it will never appear. It's also the sub-chamber where he will run towards the whole entire room and will be able to get a shoot on him while he does so. We have Ice Spreader. It's very convenient because since we have Ice Spreader skips an entire phase. So he's gonna walk over there, he's still gonna be iced for a second. We're gonna shoot him with Ice Spreader again, and we skip the whole Power Beam phase. Now he will cycle for all the beams, and those are being random as well. This time all 4 beams are in rotation. Fortunately, he started off with the most annoying one. Does those two, you just wanna do a quick missile. Oh, my game lagged out there. There was a little bit of too much going on. Nice spreader, ideally. You can skip 2 phases. And now we come to the last sub-chamber, and this sub-chamber is completely random. Whatever happens, happens. Like, he's gonna rotate, he's gonna switch randomly. Of course it starts off with Wave. He loves to do that, because Wave is the slowest one. And we got blocked. Nice. That was ice. That was ice. That is very handy. That was ice. I saw ice there for a second. And boom. I'm done. Unfortunately, I cannot show off how fast Essence works since I don't have all the visors. But as I said previously in the video, the Prime Speedrunning Discord has all the things you want to. So if you just ask them where can I find a fast strat video for Essence, you can go ahead and ask them. Unfortunately, I won't be able to show the fast strat. So what runners do to defeat Essence as fast as possible is basically they're gonna do 2 attack cancels. So Essence has like a set amount of number how much animations he does, and by interrupting his current animation, he's gonna cycle towards the next one. Yeah, and when he cycles through those animations, you can get to lay a pool way faster than usual. And also, something I should mention is, if Essence is too close towards his exo, he's not gonna lay a pool for some reason. So now, since I cannot do the optimal strat of attack canceling, I'm just gonna pool cancel to get as much damage as just possible. Pool cancels are done by holding A and walking in and out of the pool. This way, you're not consuming too much of the pool, and you can get as much damage out of it as just like possible. And if I'm lucky enough, and if I'm slow enough, I can even reduce his health to 0 on the next one. And there we go. That's it. I just reminded myself, I forgot to show off Arbor Chamber out of bounds, but I don't think that's too much of a problem, since Arbor Chamber out of bounds is the easiest out of bounds you can do, but it's like, I think beginners should focus on other things first. So this was a very good example of how many things can help you with deciding which route you take. I think the best example we had for that was when we were in Lava Lake, and we had two decisions: go to early Chozo to get the rest over there, or go to early Fen and get labs out of the way. And the artifacts helped us in that decision, since we had artifact and labs, control tower and ether to be exact. We had a reason to go to Fen, and once we were finished there, we could just warp out, go back to Chozo, grab our ice beam, and get our face up shooting. So this is how you could optimally route. But just so I can understand what I skipped, I need to know where my X-ray was. So it wasn't okay. So it expected me. Okay, so Triclops Pit is not locked by X-ray visor. So just to be clear on that one. Or actually, hold up. No, it is logically required, because you can get to Gravity Chamber without bombs. Yeah, no, that is actually pretty possible. Yeah, that's pretty possible. So never mind. So that is logically very, very weird, but yeah, that's logically super weird. I don't understand why that happened, but yeah. With that, I want to give out the last few words. I hope that this guide was as informative as I thought it would be. I hope you were able to take something from it, and I hope you'll learn something from it. Huge thanks and huge shoutouts to Link64, formerly known as the weakest Link64. He was the guy that made the first competitive guide for Randos. I asked him for permission if I could remake this video. He said yes, so I sat on it. huge thanks to Randovania and its developers. Yeah, Randomizer has come a far way for Prime, especially with how complex the item logic can be, and how fun it is just to play Randos in general. So huge thanks to all of the Randovania devs that are working hard in their free time to give us the most enjoyable experience out there. And also, big thanks to the community. You're all very awesome people. Wouldn't have made this a video without having such a great community where I know people would take this with joy. Otherwise, as I said, my Discord is vpron #8784. If you want to reach out to me on Discord, I am down for casual racing, I am down for WOD reviews, or just any questions related to Prime. Maybe also speedrunning questions, or like random questions in general. Yeah, so thank you all so much for watching. I hope you learned something. Until then, this is vpron, and I'll see you all next mission.